remember the affirmation I shared, reflections about, asking dear God within, please allow me to see with my heart, right? And there's a lot of restriction that is being experienced in today's world, a lot of restrictions, and it's becoming amplified, right? But remember, every so-called exit is simultaneously an entrance. Every blockages also creates an opening, because why? Energy must flow. Energy has to flow, right? So when these restrictions coming forward, like we're seeing a lot of the unhealthy food that is in society, we're seeing how the medication is making us sick, we're seeing how we're forced to take things that, we see that we're being forced to accept a kind of life that we do not necessarily subscribe in, to take injections and things that goes against our morals, so we see a lot of these restrictions, we see a lot of blockages happening, but all of these things are giving us the opportunity to expand the mind, to think differently, to do different, to be different, to experience different, and thus we create a new reality, a new existence, right? Where we are more independent in our awareness, more independent in our actions, more independent in our choice, right? Rather than being forced to give in to things that does not fully support us in any way, rather than being forced to accept a reality because I have to do it for my children, or I have to do it to keep my job, or I have to do it for whatever reasons, So just remember that reflections, that all of these so-called endings is literally a new beginning. Every exit is so-called an entrance. Energy must flow. It's divine law, right? And once we tap in and start to say that affirmation, dear God within, please allow me to see with my heart, right? The true gateway of intelligence become opened, and thus we become free, because there's no restriction within the heart, there's no limitations within the heart, there's no ego within the heart, right? Because why? The intelligence of the heart is literally immortal. It sounds stupid, but I'll say it again. The intelligence of the heart is literally immortal. And when it has nothing else to do, it leaves this physical realm. It is literally the place in the physical body where God resides. And God is immortal. God is here, there, and everywhere. Hence the heart can take you outside of this, let's call it what it is. We've converted it into a prison. It's not a prison. So let me correct myself. I filter myself as I speak so that I can speak the truth, right? It's not a prison. We have allowed it to become a prison through limiting beliefs that has been projected on us by the system of domination and control. Control is a very powerful control nature. No one can control God, and God is nature. God is nature. Everywhere you go, there is wind. Everywhere you go, there is ground. There is earth. Everywhere you go, there is fire. Right? God is nature. That's why they say omnipresent. We gotta peep the metaphors, reflection. We gotta peep the metaphors. Nature is self-sustaining. Nature asks us for nothing. You get me? They can't control nature, but by taking us out of nature, they can control us, and they can take God away from us, right? And they give us all that we need, sustain the ego, the physical flesh. They give us all the money and the luxury and the idea of freedom. These external things, but yet still we're empty inside because we don't have God. We don't have truth, right? We don't have compassion, right? And all we hold on to is this. And all this does in this physical world is think ahead and think in the past, and there is no present. But once we come home to this here, right, dear God within, please allow me to see with my heart. It's like you asking God to guide the ship. It's like you asking God to open up my eyes brighter, right? And once this here is open, we all talk about the third eye, then you get access to the intuitive vision that this gives, because this is going to allow you to read mind, this is going to allow you to see aura, this is going to allow you to be extra telepathic. And if you don't have a compassionate heart, you're going to abuse your power, and thus you become your own sinner, and you create your own negative karma, because what goes out must come back in. It is just law reflections. We have to learn the laws if we want to be free. It is just law, right? When you do bad, it's going to catch up with you. And as time is speeding up now, right, as the veil of separation is becoming thinner, as we prepare for the new normal, our ability to manifest is becoming extremely amplified, right? So our good karma and our bad karma will catch up with us. So you have to come home to the heart. This is where true emotional intelligence come from. This is where true freedom, true awareness, true everything reflection, it happens to the heart, right? But everything works as one. You have to take care of the stomach, because the stomach is what's gonna will you to be righteous, to do certain things. Stomach is restricted with all of these dead food, these junk food, these heavy processed food. All you're doing is recycling waste because you're putting it in your system, and your system becomes stagnant, and you get a lot of blockages, and then you can't receive as much data from the sun, you can't receive as much data from the wind, your core cannot process and send happy thoughts to your mind. You're always frustrated, you're always angry, you're always sad, you're always in anxiety. You can never embrace the now, right? Because the core must be messed up, and if the core messed up, you can't get to the heart. It is what it is. The heart is just going to be there, but it's not going to feed you a lot, because you don't have the capacity to navigate the intelligence, the higher intelligence from the heart. And then you won't give allowance for God to give you more via the pineal gland, right? I'm stuck in the what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily the maze. You know the thing to put the rat in when they're doing these experiments, and the rat just running wrong and going nowhere. That's us. Think about our life. We get up and we do our 9 to 5. We come home tired. We don't have time for anything else, so we eat some fast food, and then we feel tired. We just want to be entertained. So then you're going to plug on the dead box, that literally mess up the eyes, the TV, and we be entertained. Or we take in a lot of drama, we listen to the news, we listen to, just look at it, reflections, right? This world is, it's a beautiful world, let's just say that. And my reality will consist of lots of beauty in it, because I think I choose my word to switch in the midst of what I was about to say, because I know I create my reality, and I'm a choose to always project positive. So as opposed to saying this reality is whatever it is, my reality, this reality that I choose to experience, is filled with beautiful, harmonious people who choose to accept life, right? And I'm a connect with people who don't choose to accept life on a certain degree, but this is just, to show me that this is who I am, right? And this or that does not represent what I want to be. And maybe offer like motivation for other people to choose to be free as well, because we always gonna connect with the opposite, at least in this dualistic world. But the opposite is gonna just help us to kind of like crystallize more of who we are by seeing who we are not, or seeing the things that we don't want for ourselves. Why it goes back to my first post this morning about give allowance for what is to be. Because when you reject somebody that comes with certain information, whether we choose to perceive it as positive or good, we are not given allowance for what is to be, because there's always a message for the soul. You attract all of these people to help guide you subconsciously, but you have to have an inner sense of awareness to understand all is self, all is a mirror. When you close these eyes, there's nothing physical exists, all exists in the mind, right? And if it's all is mental, when you open your eyes, therefore you're connecting with the mind's version of reality, right? And hence why, you know, we have this very subtle aspect of creation, and then we have this material aspect of creation, right? The dualistic nature of creation. But anyway, I'm going to go on and sit down, quiet my mind, and contemplate my divine reflection. The great divine connections, reflections. Make the connections, make the connections. Connect to the one that is a reflection of the all. Give allowance for what is to be. Give allowance for what is to be. Because when we reject what is, we reject the natural flow of creation, and thus we move against the tides. And moving against the tides make life harder, because we become stuck in the mind, because the mind is going east and the tide is going west. We become stuck in the ideas of doing and being. You know, give allowance. Let what is be.